96, you done lost it, Elder. All right, what happened to David, Elder? What happened to David? What happened to David? They brought that woman to him. She couldn't heat him up no more. It was gone, Elder. Yeah, well, it was gone. Okay, Pastor Ford. Okay, Elder. Elder, you know you can get too old now. Come on. Anyway. Amen. Okay. Woo. Oh, Lord, don't say that. Don't say that. No, I ain't gonna. I'm not gonna. I'll stand in the pulpit and I'm not gonna lie. My mind ain't never been. Sex ain't never. I ain't never been. My mind ain't never stayed on that. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. When I was young, now that I stand in the pulpit and tell you that I ain't never been, as y'all say, hot, cause it didn't never. My mind would never. I thought about sex. I never. It didn't even. It just didn't. And I've never been like that. Never. I look at people now. That's why I can't understand. I look at people now. My God, you can't keep them. Oh my God, ain't nothing on your mind but that. I have never. That's all on your mind is sex. That's when you can't stay in here. Sex. That's when you can't stay saved. Sex. And what did Moses' wife say when on the 10 Commandments? There you go, Keela. What? She said, you lost him when he went to seek his God. She said, and I lost him when he found his God. Because his mind wasn't on sex then. His mind was on the things of God. All right. And this is what I'm telling y'all. Y'all need to get y'all minds on the things of God, and y'all sex all going to cool down. Yeah. You get your mind on the things of God, and you'll cool down. That's what you need to do. Y'all need to be praying and reading and fasting and get your mind on the things of God, and I guarantee you that sex drive will tone down. Now, ain't that right, Pastor Ford? It'll tone down. Our mind on the wrong thing. That's when you can't stay here. But let me go on. Now, okay. The promise came with the possibility. You started that. Read. Yeah.
It was all too obvious that Sarai had become discouraged. Abram had shared with his beautiful wife the vision and promise from God that a child, an heir, would be born of his own bowels, and that his seed would be as numerous as the stars of the sky.
Now, you think about this. Now, God done told him this, and she just started getting older. And she knew she couldn't get pregnant. She couldn't get pregnant, y'all. Read, listen.
The promise that the land of Canaan would be his had been specific and unmistakably clear. However, 10 years had passed in the land of Canaan, and still Abram's wife bare him
no children. We would get discouraged, go back out there in that world. Well, she did it. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Read, listen.
It was customary in those days for a barren woman to bring her maid to her husband that a child might be raised up in the wife's name. It was entirely natural, but that in itself was the problem. It was neither a spiritual plan nor the will of God. If there were,
it wasn't a spiritual plan. It wasn't the will of God. He said it's going to come out of your bowels. Read, listen.
If there were tremendous possibilities in what God had promised, then there certainly were incredible pressures to do things in one's own way.
And this is what we do. We do things in our own way. That is what has happened to the Pentecostal church. We couldn't wait on God. We couldn't, and we got tired, and we want to be like. I know. I know. I know. I know. I know.
Did y'all know that?
Mm-hmm.
Those different nationalities, those are the descendants of Ishmael, and all this war going on right now.
Yeah.
Y'all know that?
Yeah.
Your Bible is true.
Yep. Yep. Now.
We got the Bible, they got the Warren, they claim Muhammad, I would claim come down and lead them to the word, and he's there from God. It's just a whole lot. They won't take the Bible, but the corresponding with the Bible down in that different ways, all but together.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Amen.
You gonna get how many verses?
Yeah. Yeah, you get so many. Now, when Sarah said, Lord, I find no more pleasure in my old age. Okay, I find no more pleasure in my old age. So that means that that was just about over. Now, let me ask you a question. Okay. So that means that actually when she conceived him, it was sort of like this is a type and shadow. It was sort of like she was back to a virgin. It's a type and shadow because she was, so she was like back to a virgin. Look, how Mary conceived was, let's just say, not natural. I'm just going to use these words for right now. How Sarah conceived was not natural. It's not natural for a 96-year-old woman, 97-year-old woman to have a baby. You see what I'm saying? Type and shadows. Keep this in mind. That's why this is a type and shadow. Okay, now, of course, let's get to it. Read, come on down. The promise came with,
Go, okay.
Mm-hmm.
What great things happen when we simply follow the original plan of God for our lives. Right there?
Mm-hmm.
The Lord may have to encourage us when we struggle to maintain our faith in his word.
He got to encourage you because we get all tore up waiting on God. If he said it, it's going to happen. You need to go on and serve him. But we'll see. Read, listen.
The Lord may have to encourage us when we struggle to maintain our faith in his word. Whatever we have to do, whatever effort we need to make, we cannot afford to lose sight of our heavenly vision.
Don't lose sight of your heavenly vision. I don't care how long it takes it to pass. Don't lose sight of it.
You have to do.
Stay right here. We will not stay here long enough to let God work nothing out for us. We will not let God work nothing out for us. We won't stay here long enough. We won't stay. And let me tell you something. It takes a struggle to make anything great. It takes some going through. Let me tell you something. For a man to become a doctor, he got to come out them streets. He can't run them streets. No. He got to go to school for 8 years, longer than that sometimes. Yes. He got to hit the books. Yes. He got to stay with them books, or he won't be no doctor. If you're going to be anything, you got to put something in it. You got to put something in it. It's a struggle. Ain't no shortcuts. They can't go to school for 6 years and say that's it. They got to go them years. They got to go through, oh my God. Anything that you're going to be something, you got to put some time in. You got to wait. You got to go through. You get tired. They get tired of going to school. Even in here, Tammy, she said, I'm tired, Mom, I'm tired. But I ain't got but so long, but I'm tired. You get tired. You get tired. So what am I saying? Anything that's going to mount to anything, you got to put some time in. Yes. You're going to get tired. Yes. You're going to get a little bit discouraged, but you got to keep going. And in the end results is what we're looking at. In the end, if you stay with the thing,